because of very hot today and because of the Croatian and Turkey our football match in the European Union. But at the end, we are happy. We are 2-2. We're equal. At least we'll get a one point we'll get here. At least 1-1. I said first we lose with from Spain. Second we got 1 point. Third we get 3 points. So at the end we will get a 4 point. For this one we will say how to play. Good evening and dobro večer. Svima dobro došli. Drago nama da se skupili koliko smo se skupili, skoro 450 ljudi tu. Drago da su tu ovdje sve naše akademike, profesore. First of all, I will say welcome to our Excellency Mr. Rajkumar Shrivastava, who is helping us a lot from last actually 4 years. Indian Embassy always helped the Croatian-Indian Society, but especially in the terms of our this very knowledgeable ambassador, we've done a lot of good things. We promote Croatia and India both with the help of our Croatian-Indian Society and the Indian Embassy, especially with the server ambassadors. We reach at this very high level anyway. So we have today, I don't want to mention our academics. There are 3, 4, 5 academics here, professors are here, our colleagues, members of Croatian-Indian Society, members of Napredak Society. So we are all together here. So welcome all of you here. Dobro došli su svima našima, ovdje su naše ekscelencija veleposlanik i naše akademike, neću brojati, ima 4-5 tu ovdje, i naši profesori, još naši prijatelji i naše članovi našeg društva od 1994. godine do danas. Još trebao doći kod nas 2 osobe koje su bili s nama kad smo društvo osnovali. To je bilo naš, čak i 4 osobe. Bilo naš Zoran Majsorović, sada nigdje još ne vidim nju. Andrija Karapipović, on je ispričao da je bolestan. Jučer sam popio kavu sa Brankom Šparovićem, pokojnog našeg prvog ministra u Hrvatskoj, Zvonimir Šparović. Sada je ispričala prije malo da je imala neka nezgodu u automobilu, negdje sin, da sada on nalazi na bolnicu u Rebru. Želim puno zdravlja i sreće taj negdje sinu. To sve nije prisutno sada tu ovdje. Jedna gospođa nama je Jadranka Fatur. To je tu ovdje, nama je gospođa tu ovdje. Ne, nije to gospođa Fatur, on isto nije došla, ona trebala doći, ja sam da vi ste tu. Jako sličnite na taj gospođa. I to je da počnemo danas program, počnemo sada tu. Imamo malo dulje program, neće dulje biti puno. Ima 5 naše 6 govornika. Imamo poslije nagrade ili zahvalni se deliti ljudima koji su služeni za taj 30-godišnja koji su s nama. To je događanja koje su napravili. Bit će film pokazano vama tu šta smo radili od osnivanja društva do danas. We will see what we have done from the 1994, how we established our society, and till today now. So let us start. First, I will give the chance to say to our Excellency few words, and after that, Mr. Jain Shah, who is our Secretary of the Society, she is, I can say, our IT person, who put in the website and the Facebook, everything. She launched a book on 30 years of our society also. This is her book. It's a very good book. Looks like, but I have read something from her. But she will explain more on this one. First, Our Excellency, please.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Dobro veche. Thank you, Mr. Joginder Singh ji, for giving me this opportunity to speak at the start. I was thinking that today I am going to observe the celebration, but you have put me at the beginning to speak about. I was thinking about how to celebrate such an important milestone, 30 years of Croatia-India Society, which is a unique milestone. Croatia celebrated 30 years of Croatia 2 years back, and now you are celebrating. That tells that how old is your society, almost as old as your country. And in that sense, the contribution that you have done to the two countries' bilateral relationship is humongous. But what I see is that it is increasing at a rate which is matching with the rate at which India is growing. And also, I hope that Croatia will also have great opportunity to grow in terms of technology, in terms of development. There are lots of differences between India and Croatia, and one small difference is of size, which everybody told me that how do you build relationship when you have such a big difference in the size, population. But there are so many similarities, and that is what we should build upon, similarities, complementarities. And I was thinking about talking a bit about that today, because it's important to celebrate occasions looking at the back or the past, but also towards the future, how to rejuvenate, what to do in the coming times, how it will be different, how it will be similar. So looking at Croatia and India, this year was an election year, both for Croatia and for India. And the democracy of the two countries have given one similarity. Both the places, we got the record third term of continuity of our previous government, previous Prime Minister. And the two Prime Ministers have congratulated each other already in writing about recognizing that 3 consecutive terms in a democracy is a very important achievement, because mostly democracy have this anti-incumbency. But if the democracy is continuing 3 terms in a row, that means people are looking for democracy as development platform, and they are not dissatisfied totally. That is similarity between India and Croatia. So democracy is the commonality, or I would say convergence, between India and Croatia. The complementarity is demography. So 45 months back, when I came to Croatia on this assignment, there were 250 Indians living in Croatia. And in that, 25 were from the Indian embassy. Today, it is 15,000 plus. And this has happened because of demographic complementarity. At a time when Croatia is looking for demographic movement of people who can contribute to the economy, when a lot of funds are coming, but projects are not being able to execute it because of lack of human resources, you have that coming from India, where there is demographic surplus. So demography is the complementarity, democracy is the convergence, and the common point of the two countries is diversity. India is a hugely diverse country, as much as the universe is diverse. And I was surprised to know that Croatia is so diverse. It looks a small country, but it is very diverse. I would say in terms of per capita diversity or per square kilometer diversity, Croatia should be highest in the whole planet, because you are basically a line from Slavonia to Zagreb to Adriatic Sea, and all these places are so different. Somebody asked me from India that I want to come to Europe for 2 weeks trip. Can you advise me 3-4 days, what should I do in Croatia? I said, come for 2 weeks to Croatia. You would not be missing a single day, because you will do every day different things. And that is the commonality between India and Croatia of diversity. So democracy, demography, and diversity. And the development that India is doing, the development that is Croatia is undergoing, I think that's again a possibility of a lot of cooperation. So I would say, as we celebrate 3 decades of Croatia-India Society, though we have done a lot of work in these 4 Ds, but those should be our focus in coming years: how to strengthen dialogue on democracy, how to strengthen the demographic complementarity by taking care of the people coming from India, and also establishing streamlined procedures so that this movement becomes mutually beneficial without any negative story. Diversity. Twice I remember in Napredak, we had the conferences on diversity, unity in diversity, lessons from India for Croatia, with your former president Kolinda Kitarovic coming and giving keynote speech. And I think diversity has already been celebrated in Napredak. I look forward that this continues. There are 4 T's also. I talked about 4 D's. Now I was thinking about 4 T's. Trade and technology is going now from Croatia to India. The Croatian technology is contributing in Indian economy, and trade in terms of, like I just got the news that 2 pipelines orders have now been given to Indian companies just recently for the first time, close to 70 million euros. So this is a new news that is happening. So trade and technology is moving from Croatia to India, and talent and tourists are coming from India to Croatia. So that's the to and fro movement between the 2 countries: trade, technology, talent, and tourism. So I think this is very important that we celebrate these occasions, also look towards what should be the future path, how it will be different than past, and what are the new lines of action. So with those words I stop, but I also wanted to say something about the book that is here, Seamless Flow. And I always believe that there is always a purpose in every coincidence. This is a coincidence that you have the celebration of 3 decades of Croatia-India Society, and you also have a coincidence of releasing a book which has been recently accomplished by Jane Saw. I had the privilege of reading that book in 2 hours. She asked me to write the foreword, and I said, okay, I will try to do it at some point of time, but somehow 2 hours got empty in my schedule next day, and I looked at this book, and it was unputdownable. I finished in 2 hours, 250 pages, not reading everything, but going through and understanding what it is talking about, and then I wrote the foreword in half an hour. So I was telling Jane that your book is so good that it inspired me to create a seamless flow inside me to produce in half an hour the foreword. It can't be more efficient, it can't be more productive. The title is Navigating Life with Productivity and Efficiency. But what is the meaning of this for Croatia-India Society? Like the whole essence, and I'm sorry that I'm spilling the beans, the secret of this book is in the last line, which is that ultimate happiness or ultimate productivity is not an end result, it is a process, and that process is about discovering the purpose of life. And that discovery of purpose of life comes in our individual lives, it also comes in institutional life. And I think Croatia-India Society as an institution at this Seamless Flow book release should also apply that principle, how to rediscover the purpose of this society going forward. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best for the evening. Thank you.
I will just ask to Jan Shah to just to introduce herself and tell something about the book. Then we will start our rest function.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jogenderji, for giving this opportunity where I can present my book. And thank you so much, for writing forward and inspiring me to do more such work. Thank you so much. Thank you all the dignitaries for being present. So I worked in the past as a mentor and coach for small and medium-term enterprises. And my experience working with them was they really work very hard. I was working with owners and the day is filled with a lot of activities. But somewhere at the end of the day, they were always missing why were they doing it. And though I was a financial coach for them, but somewhere I ended up coaching them about how their day should go. So this is how the process has started. And in last 2.5 years, I took a break from work and I got a chance to compile these thoughts into the book. And this is how the book has come. I will brief you about the content of the book. This book is divided into 4 parts. First part is about understanding productivity. The next is about what influences our productivity. Third is how do we prepare our life to live a better way. And then what can we do in day-to-day life so that we live our life with a purpose. So first part focuses on how can we put our day with an objective in my mind. So if all our tasks are aligned with the objectives, our day becomes more meaningful and our life becomes more meaningful. So there are various chapters in the first part which focuses on how do we align our life and how do we deal with the misconceptions about productivity. So one of the misconceptions that we have is being busy is productive. However, it doesn't mean that being busy will give us always the result. Our brain is designed to do one thing at a time. So how do we train ourselves to create focus and live our life? Second part is about what are the things that influences us. So one of the part of the second chapter is how emotions guide us. So currently, we have a lot of football matches, and if we know that we have one football match, the evening goes very differently compared to the days that we haven't made it. Our evening goes differently. So our emotions help us take positive decision, but at the same time, emotions can take us to the negative decisions. So there are other influencing factors in our life. So second part is about that. Then how do we prepare ourselves? So one of the chapter in the third part is about habits. So when we want to develop new habits, we require to put a lot of push. But once we have the momentum, it grows automatically. So how do we develop habits? So third part deals with habit and related chapters. Finally, how do we do with our everyday life productivity? So there's a very simple tip that I can share with you, which is every day at least have 3 things that you want to accomplish. And out of that, even if you accomplish one thing, it means in 365 days, we have 365 meaningful things accomplished. And if we do 3 every day, it means in 1 year life is different. So there are ways to achieve this, and I have narrated those things in the book. So in a nutshell, once we have a clarity, we focus our efforts with a purpose, and then we align our values, we will be able to live a very purposeful life. So that's it about short presentation. I will not take much of the time. If anyone wants to go through the book, this is a QR code. I can share QR code also. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I'll put her presentation. Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much, Jan. Really, it is a surprise for me also to explain about this such kind of book. In Croatia or in everywhere in the world, we need something in the book like this one. How to make our life better every day. We must have our aim and follow that aim. Or our vision, we must have the vision, where to go, what to do, what not to do. So our next will be the Ruhi Sachichek-chan. She will explain that how 1994 we established our society. And what happened in the few years, in earlier years, there are a lot of things happened at that time even, but most of them not recorded. Even as today, Zora Masud, which is missing here, as I told earlier, also she was the founder of our society. Myself, this is Mr. Ucha Chichik Chan, our Professor Smitra Kumar Sharma, Professor Aman Prakash Chan, Ucha Chichik Chan, and myself, and others. As I told earlier, at that time we established our society in Hainka, in Croatian National Theatre. There are 300 people up there. They written on this book, which I given to everyone here. Written all the explaining everything there, what is happening when people are there, and how many. 280, more than 80 was only the Croat. Instead, why the Croat people? We have 6 or 7 people were Indians at that time, which make a Croatian-Indian Society, no? That's the great thing, but we are very glad that today we are celebrating 30 years. Now I give the word to Research Chan. Please come and explain some.
Dobar večer. Much of the things have been already told by Joginder Singh Nijjar, by Your Excellency Rajkumar Srivastava. So, and also I was listening to Jane and thinking when I was writing my book, now finishing, perhaps if I would have had her book in my hands, I would have better composed my days. Anyway, I would like to start with the end in a way. And I want to point to and thank to His Excellency Ambassador Srivastava that it was his initiative that in a relatively very short time we wrote the book whose title is Croatian-Indian Links between 92 and 22. The title itself is not especially attractive, if I can say so, but the content of the book is rather valuable. And thanks go to Ambassador, because he gave initiative and he was in a way trying that we do it in time. The second thing which I want to say before I say something about the start of the society is that for the last several years, the collaboration between the society and the Indian embassy, and particularly that the ambassador put his interest into it, has resulted in many seminars, lectures, which what I want to say, which the ambassador also mentioned, that wherever it was possible to make the contact between the two countries. We had lectures on India alone. We had something on Croatia alone. But wherever it was possible, it was tried to see where are the similarities and where the two countries touch each other. This was especially in the case of the Indian mathematician Ramanujan, where I was greatly surprised to find out that Croatian mathematicians are very well acquainted with the work of Ramanujan, and they are still working on his inheritance, on what he did. But my major role today is to say something about the start of the society, which happened today is the 19th of June. It was on the 18th of June, and it started that with Dr. Zora Maštrović, who couldn't come here. She initiated it. She has been in touch with India for some time through transcendental meditation, through Vedic studies, and she recognized, along with the Indians who were there in Zagreb, that there is a lot of affinity between the Croats and the Indians. And somehow it prompted her, why not to establish Croatian-Indian Society, which was then done. And it was a beautiful happening. It happened in the HNK, u Hrvatskom narodnom kazalištu, u Atriju, where usually can come about 150 people. On that day, over 300 people gathered. And there was another happy occasion that the ambassador from Budapest, who came to Zagreb to meet the President Tudjman to give, I don't know in English what you call it, vjerodajnice. Yes. So, credentials, yes. And so he happened also to be at the foundation of this Croatian-Indian Society. There we have chosen the president. It was Professor Šeparović, who was earlier the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who was the, now help me, the dean, not the dean is a faculty, but the, yes, of the Zagreb University. No, here nothing moves, as I can see, and I thought that somebody will do it for me. Yes, and now go back. Here on this photo, you can a little bit see the lady here is Zora Maštrović, there is Professor Šeparović, and that is another Kudajka. And what else we did? I have to cut it short. The things a little bit. Let me. Well, what else to say here? They all gave some speeches. Professor Šeparović, also the ambassador Budajte, and our artists Ljubica Jojić, Rid Matić, some of you, well, I don't know, of all the generations may remember them. They recited and they sang. To start with, there were 156 members of the society, and they divided into 3 branches, into economic, health, and cultural. As the time was passing, the cultural section showed itself most productive, and its first result was that we managed to get that Miss Sonal Mansingh, at that time the greatest Bharatanatyam dancer, visits Zagreb. She was on her tour through Europe, and then she came to Zagreb, and in HNK she had her performance, and it was something very, very beautiful. It was also very much present in our newspapers, and also in New Delhi, because when she came back, she gave an interview, which I know through my acquaintances in India, and she was touched how welcomed she was in Zagreb by the public. I was going to say here, but I don't think there is a point to say something about Bharatanatyam as such, about dance, the meaning of dance in India. I will leave it. I will just say that Sonal Mansingh, she said that in spite of all her experience, of all her knowledge, of all her perfection, she said that in spite of all this, she still considers every performance of hers kao traženje sebe, ulaženje u sebe, ništa nije konačno, uvijek je početak, uvijek je priprema, uvijek je sadhana, samo ostvarenje, jedan dugi put prema svjetlosti. Drugu značajnu stvar koju je društvo učinilo, da, oprostite, tu sam propustila reći da je iste te godine u mjesecu rujnu, Indian Minister of Trade and the President of Indian Parliamentary Delegation, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, who became the 13th Indian President between 2012 up to 2017, but he came to Zagreb and he met and invited for lunch all the part of the members of the Croatian-Indian Society and the members of the Cathedral of Indology. Okay, then I will mention that in 1955, from 4th to 27th of April, it means more than 3 weeks, we had the Days of Indian Film. You will all know, I presume most of you will know, that film industry of India is the oldest and biggest. In 1992, it produced 826 films. Today, it produces over thousands of films. They do divide into commercial films and into art films, which are financially supported also by the government. But in those 10 days, we have actually celebrated 80 years in 55, 80 years of Indian film, which started in 1913. So 1 year up and down. And we gave, now I'll read it in Croatian, what I wrote here. Dali smo zagrebačkoj publici priliku da vidi neke od najboljih indijskih filmova, eminentnih autora novog vala indijske kinematografije, poput Mire Nair, Gautama Gosha, Shekhar Kapura, Gopala Krishnana, među mnogima. Ti su filmovi prikazani u suradnji sa multimedijskim centrom i filmotekom u Savskoj cesti broj 16. Ja ne znam da li više tamo to, mislim da to više tamo ne postoji. Kolegica Saša Krnić, mlada indologinja i ja, mi smo se trudile danima ili koliko je to trajalo, da to sve skinemo i titlo prevedemo na hrvatski. Naravno, tu bi o indijskim filmovima mogla mnogo toga reći. Nešto bi sad spomenula. Ovaj zadnji festival u Kanu. Tu smo mi dobili, naš režiser Sljepčević dobio je Zlatnu palmu, mislim, glavnu nagradu za ovaj film Čovjek koji nije znao šutjeti ili čovjek. Tako. Istovremeno na festivalu, na tom istom festivalu, sudjelovala je i mlada redateljica Indika, Payal Kapadia, sa filmom All We Imagine as Light. Oni su pretendirali na tu Zlatnu palmu, nisu je dobili, nismo je dobili, ali ona je dobila drugu nagradu, Grand Prix u Cannesu. Da ne govorim o Satyajit Rayu, da ne govorim o filmovima Mire Nair, Ritiš Batra, ali vi ćete se iz starije generacije možda, ali nema, ja sam tu najstarija, mislim, sjetiti filma Mother India, s kojim smo bili oduševljeni. On je prikazivan, on je napravljen 1957. kad je došao ovamo, možda koju godinu iza toga, i bio je nominiran za Oscara. Nije dobio, ali je bio tu, negdje vrlo blizu. I sad ću još spomenuti, naravno, to moram spomenuti, taj film sam isto tu gledala, i vi vjerovatno i neki od vas. On je prikazivan i u kinima, a i na televiziji, Milioner sa ulice. Prema knjizi književnika Vika Svarupa, koji je prošle godine bio glavni gost Interlibera, koji je napisao knjigu i po toj knjizi je i napravljen film Slumdog Milioner. Sad bi još tu spomenula da je godine 1999. između 2. i 16. rujna Hrvatsko društvo likovnih umjetnosti organiziralo izložbu suvremene umjetnosti Indije naslovljenu Od vanjskog ka unutrašnjem, druga realnost, u suradnji sa National Gallery of Indian Modern Art in Delhi, and with the financial help of the Indian Ministry of Culture and government of Croatia, and the Croatian-Indian Society was also involved, not directly, but indirectly was also present there. Another happening worthy of mentioning here, that in 2009, on the 2nd of October, u Saboru, u parlamentu u Saboru, je bila proslava 140. godišnjice Mahatma Gandija. Da se to desilo u Saboru, mogli smo zahvaliti saborskoj zastupnici Mariji Lugarić. Mi smo je pozvali, ali je bila spriječena da dođe, koja je, ja ne znam da li je i danas tako, ali u to vrijeme je kao ili svaki ili neki od zastupnika su bili zaduženi i za komunikaciju sa stranim zemljama. Aha, sorry, I have forgotten. To je sad već Tagora, to još nismo došli to. No. To nemamo snimku. Nemamo snimku ove proslave u Saboru, ali ono što ja imam u sjećanju bilo je vrlo lijepo, vrlo svečano, i profesor Boško Picula održao je jedno sjajno, vrlo inspirativno predavanje o Mahatma Gandiju i jedan dokumentarac koji bi vrlo rado vidjela, dobili smo ga od indijske ambasade, da li on još tamo ili ne, ali bio je izvrstan. I sada dolazimo, evo ovo što je Jane stavila na ekran. Rabindranath Tagore, 2011. godine, bila je to 150 godišnjica njegovog rođenja i 85 godina od Tagorovog boravka u Zagrebu. Naime, Rabindranath Tagore došao je, prolazeći kroz Europu, došao je u Zagreb 1926. godine i u glazbenom zavodu je održao 2 sjajna predavanja, odnosno to prvo je bilo toliko sjajno da su ga molili da dođe i drugi dan i da im zapravo on je onda na bengalskom svoju poeziju čitao i iako ljudi nisu razumjeli bengalski jezik, ali su čovjeka osjetili i osjetili su snagu njegovih pjesama. U okviru, ono što je važno reći ovdje, to je bila jedna velika manifestacija Dana indijske kulture i tako je bilo i nazvana. I nije se održavala samo u Zagrebu, nego u Splitu i u Rijeci. S tim, tu bi još dodala, ja sam te godine, dakle nešto prije, i ona je krenula 7. svibnja i trajala je do 31. svibnja. Dakle, više od 3 tjedna. Kako sam se našla u Londonu 2011. na toj konferenciji, posjetila sam Tagorov centar u Londonu i s njima dogovorila da neki njihovi glazbenici od tamo i predavači dođu u Zagreb na proslavu, na središnju proslavu 150 godina Tagorovog rođenja i oni su se pojavili i u muzeju Mimara u Velikoj gore dvorani održan je jedan prekrasan isto i koncert od uzvanika iz Londona, ali isto tako, to je bilo mi nešto novo, da je Bruno Bjelinski, jedan od naših najznačajnijih skladatelja, skladao, da je uglazbio nekoliko skladbi nastali prema stihovima Tagore. Jedna se zove Pjesma ljubavi i smrti, Songs of Love and Death, koja govori o ljubavi, gubitku, prolaznosti života. I još 3 pjesme za koje nisam dobila naslov, ali bilo je nešto vrlo lijepo da je, nemam tu ime, koje na klaviru te skladbe izveo. U tom istom razdoblju bilo je niz predavanja o Tagori od kolega sa indologije, izložbi arhivskih snimaka. O tome je nešto profesor Ježić govorio u jednom od svojih predavanja o Tagori, arhivskih snimaka o prisutnosti Tagore u Zagrebu. Također je tu bila i uključena i jedna radionica u etnografskom muzeju kako obući bengalski sari, više vjerovatno jednačino. Bilo je nekoliko bengalskih u kulturno-informativnom centru u Kicu, nekoliko bengalskih filmova je prikazano, među njima od Satyajit Raya, a puno svijet, to je jedna trilogija, za prvu od kojih je dobio veliku nagradu. I na kraju, da spomenem još i to, da je indijska vlada poslala, jer je Tagor u kasnijoj životnoj dobi počeo se baviti i slikarstvom, pa je poslala jedan čitav niz njegovih crteža koji su bili izloženi više od 1 dana u Mimara muzeju. Eto, toliko sa moje strane. I zahvaljujem na pažnju.
Ja bih zahvalio Ruisu Čiček-Čandu na objašnjenju. Sigurno mnogo materijala nema kod nas danas, koji ne možemo više pokazati tu ovdje. We can also show us material these main things are happening. Not only these, but a lot of other things also happening at that time. But we started with new technology from 2019 when I came take it as a president. They chose me as a president in Hello. So next I will get a few words to say to our dear guest, we are host in Napredak, and the vice president of Napredak, Mr. Dragan Topic. I was supposed to give him the word before, but I forget. I gave to research his chance. So please come and say something first. I know, yeah, please. We are already late.
Okay. Your Excellency, honorable guests, dear friends, it's nice that we have you here. It's really a fantastic celebration. 30 years anniversary is not a short anniversary, especially in our country, because you remember that we have a war, we have independence, and now my friend professor warned me that the Indian movies were few days before this attack on Zagreb. It means the life was going all during the war, cultural, scientific, and so on, normally, and not huge intensities. I would like to thank you on behalf of our Croatian Cultural Society Napredak for coming here, and we are very happy that we can host Croatian-Indian Society. I am also a member. I'm a great fan of India. I was only 4 times in India, but I was working in Bangalore for 4 months in Indian Institute of Science, and I have feeling how is going, all the world is going on there. And I appreciate Indian science, education, philosophy very much. But we have now time to explain the differences and similarities. Anyway, we can learn from India very much, but also, as our Mr. Ambassador mentioned, Indian people can also learn something from us, and that is important. What we say, numbers are not critical, but content. Which content we found between this number. Even if you found only one collaboration, it's fantastic. One interest between now. But we found a lot of interest during these years, am I right? And I must thank Professorica Cicek Chandi for really beautiful overview, because a lot of things I was not aware. But for instance, I know that Rabindranath Tagore was in Zagreb. I'm not, 1 time or even 2 times, I'm not sure. Maybe he's going coming 1 time. Yeah. Yeah, two lectures was, but that was fantastic, because when I was younger, I was reading the poems, and that was impressed me that such a huge man was here in Zagreb. I think also the Rotary Club of Zagreb at that time helps him to stay here, and maybe this peak, as you asked me, is maybe on the main station, railway station. Maybe, I'm not sure. Esplanada, which is close to the main station. Yes, that I also have heard. And also, I'm close to finish. Also, you mentioned Ramujan. That's amazing person. I must mention him. He died, unfortunately, with Jesus years, with 33 years. But during this short lifespan, he produced something like 4,000 theorems, completely like the God tell him, because these guys around other mathematicians could understand how he found the proofs of the theorems. But later in the years, in the decades, they proved these theorems okay. And even the famous guy from Cambridge, a mathematician, Hardy, yeah, he recognized his genius talent and asked him to come for some years. And he, very young, I think he was enrolled in Madras, in Chennai, very, very young, because of this talent. It seems we can, not only mathematics, we can also exchange our ideas and collaboration in chemistry, as I was there, in physics. Physics is very strong in India, and so on. And literature and folklore. So anyway, thank you very much for coming here. Napredak is, we have a title, Croatian Cultural Society, but we are in fact multicultural society from the early beginning. We started 120 years ago in Bosnia, but moved during the world. Now we have in the United States, Canada, Austria, Germany, France, and so on. Normally, the biggest number of subsidiaries are in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in Croatia. and we have momentarily only 6,500 numbers, because now we count only numbers which pay very low this payment, but in fact we have close to 20,000 numbers. But okay, and we really like this multidisciplinarity and support it, and we are very happy that we can collaborate with Croatian-Indian Society. Thank you very much once again. Yeah.
Thanks to Professor, our friend Napredak Dragan topic. Actually, we are working very together for the last 5-6 years, and very friendly. And we feel here as a society, we feel here as a at home. We are friends as a society, everything there. When I come here as our own permission, on our permission. This place is here, available here. All the people from this Napredak Cultural Center they're so helpful. Director Goran Mariološević, Kristina Damir Kresić, who is the president of the Indian Croatian Institute of Tourism. Yesterday they had the conference. There are two speakers was there. One from mayor of the Dubrovnik Split, and he is from Croatia or from Zagreb, like that something. I'm very thankful to you for this one. Now we will go further. We have someone started now. What is happening? Happened till today. When it started, I will not speak too much on the past because we already had too much time. We know what we have done, how much we have done in 30 years. Even the last year, the Indian government gave me, myself, on my name, and to our society the award, Bharatiya Divas Award. So this is one of the biggest awards that Indian government can give to somebody, to some countries. I am as a Croat, got it, but no other Croatian or other Indians who are living in Croatia did not get till today. No. This is a very big award. I'm thankful to, especially to my dear ambassadors who put my name on that list. And I got out of 5,000 Indians, foreigners, diaspora who was applied for that. I was the country Croatia first time, and myself I was the first time in that one. As a countryman also. So next my step will go to our Professor Darko Jobrinic, the mathematics status. There are a lot of mathematics here, even the president of Mathematics Croatia today, our Vesna Jupanovic, dobro, sorry, thank you. And Mr. Tomislav Šekić, our lecturer. There are but so many other lectures we have done from last 5 years. We have done more than 40 events, all the different titles. And so my aim was, our society's aim when I came here, to connect more people together in all fields. One Croat, one Indian. Both them, they should give together one lecture here. I think I'm succeeded it till today. Balance I will speak later on. Thank you.
Hvala lijepo. Ja ću govoriti na hrvatskom. Prije točno 100 godina je u Francuskoj, u Parizu, objavljena vrlo značajna knjiga francuskog nobelovca Romena Rolana pod naslovom Mahatma Gandhi. A zamislite, te iste godine, 1924. Znači također prije 100 godina, je ta ista knjiga objavljena u Zagrebu na hrvatskom jeziku, u hrvatskom prijevodu. I ja tu knjigu imam u rukama. I preporučam svakome kojemu je stalo do hrvatsko-indijskih odnosa da prelista tu knjigu, po mogućnosti da ju pročita. Nije velika, ima oko 150 stranica. Iznimno interesantna. Ja bih rekao, ta knjiga je i spomenik hrvatskom jeziku. Naime, prije 100 godina jezik kojeg ćete vidjeti u ovoj knjizi nije isti kao današnji hrvatski jezik. I vjerujem da će mnogi samo iz tog razloga ići provjeriti je li to doista tako. Ja sam imao čast od gospodina Jogindera doznati da je Stjepan Radić za svojega života objavio 6 članaka o Mahatma Gandhiju. Zapravo glavni izvor je akademik Mislav Ježić. Međutim, išao sam provjeravati naravno to je nekako i u genima matematičara provjeravati koliko god se može. I onda sam naišao na još nešto, naišao sam na ovu knjigu za koju do tada nisam znao. I onda sam spomenuo gospodinu Joginderu meni nevjerojatno otkriće, to je bilo prije 3 godine, 2021. godine, da je u Zagrebu objavljena knjiga Romana Rolana pod naslovom ne Mahatma Gandhi kao u francuskom izvorniku, nego pod doista zapanjujući naslov, pod naslovom Naš Gandhi. I ako ne vjerujete, ja ću vam pokazati tu naslovnicu stranicu. I to je jedini od mnogih prijevoda u svijetu koji ima tako lijepo i simpatično promijenjen naslov u Naš Gandhi. Naš Gandhi se odnosi zapravo na našu situaciju ovdje u Hrvatskoj. A tko je inicirao prevođenje te knjige sa francuskog na hrvatski? Inicirao je Stjepan Radić. I zamolio je svojeg zeta, Josipa Vandekara, koji je oženio Radićevu najstariju kći Milicu, da obavi taj prijevod sa francuskog na hrvatski jezik. I tu su se dogodile sada neke, po mojem mišljenju, važne stvari koje povezuju duboko Hrvatsku i Indiju. Naime, ime Josipa Vandekara je potpuno nepoznato. Vi danas, ako pogledate bilo koji leksikon, enciklopediju, nećete naći to. Kako je to moguće? Znači, jedna od osnovnih zadaća ovoga društva hrvatskog-indijskog je da se to promijeni, da ime Josipa Vandekara bude vidljivo i poznato hrvatskoj javnosti. Stjepan Radić je znači ne samo predložio izdavanje ove knjige, nego je i napisao predgovor koji ima, ja mislim, 6 ili 7 stranica, vrlo interesantan, i ja bih iz tog razloga preporučio da zavirite u tu knjigu. Kad sam gospodinu Joginderu spomenuo tu knjigu objavljenu 1924. godine, onda je Joginder reagirao nevjerojatno. On je rekao, pa mi bismo tu knjigu trebali objaviti kao pretisak. To je bilo prije 3 godine. Ja sam mu rekao, pa čuj, to je ipak skopčano i sa troškovima, nije to tako jednostavno. A on mi je dao odgovor koji neću do kraja života zaboraviti. On mi je rekao, novci nisu nikakav problem. I zamislite, te iste godine, 2021. je ta knjiga bila pretisnuta, i to je ova knjiga. To je ova knjiga, isto pod naslovom Naš Gandhi, ali primijetit ćete da je puno deblja od ove ovdje. To je razlog toga. Razlog tome što smo se obratili za pomoć ovdje našim dragom akademiku Mislavu Ježiću, on je se druge ovdje obratili, i on je u oči ljeta prihvatio našu molbu za suradnju, za pripremu ovoga izdanja. I ja sam duboko zahvalan na tome, jer je on iz tjedna u tjedan u ljetu 2021. godine sa nama zajedno radio. Mi smo se tu nalazili i rezultat te knjige je da je profesor Ježić napisao jedan impresivan proslov toj knjizi koji ima nešto više od 100 stranica. A gospodin Joginder i ja smo napisali zaslov, odnosno pogovor toj knjizi koji ima 15 stranica, a sada imamo i prošireno englesko izdanje koje će imati nešto više od 20 stranica. Moram ispričati još par stvari o ovom prvom izdanju, a to je, vidite, ova slika koju imate i na i u hrvatskom prijevodu iz 1924. godine nismo znali te godine tko je slikar. Međutim, Jane Shah je uspjela nama otvoriti oči. Ona je primijetila, to se jedva ovdje vidi, ime slikara Marko Rašica. To je dubrovački slikar o kojemu je prije 10 godina ili nešto manje jedna Dubrovkinja obranila doktorsku dizertaciju. I mogli smo se njoj osobno obraditi i dosta o tome doznati. Htio bih još spomenuti Josipa Vandekara kao gotovo potpuno nepoznatu osobu. Vrlo značajno. Ne samo kao zeta, nego i kao člana Hrvatske seljačke stranke. On je preminuo samo 3 godine nakon objavljivanja te knjige 1924. Čini se u svojoj 35. ili 6. godini, vrlo mlad, od tuberkuloze, kako smo doznali, ali vrlo interesantno da je njegov sin od Josipa Vandekara, Krešo Milutin Vandekar, autor svima vama poznate pjesme koja se zove Tata kupi mi auto. Tata kupi mi auto, znači taj čovjek je to komponirao i istražujući dalje doznali smo da je taj kompozitor komponirao tu pjesmu za svoju kći koja se zove Maja Vandekar. Ona je trebala večeras doći ovdje. Gospođa Maja Vandekar, do nje smo došli opet zahvaljujući gospodinu Joginderu, koji je imao jedan indirektni kontakt koji je omogućio poznanstvo sa njom. I evo vidite, ovdje s jedne strane imate jednu predivnu nijansu koja kroz tu pjesmu osvjetljava jednu vedrinu. Mi svi znamo tu pjesmu. Međutim, moram vas upozoriti da priča ima jednu drugu stranu. Naime, Milica Vandekar, koja je najstarija kći Josipa Radića, ona je rođena u Pragu 1899. u vrijeme kad je Stjepan Radić sa suprugom Marijom Radić, koja je inače Čehinja podrijetlom, tamo su živjeli. Dakle, Milica Radić je u gradu Zagrebu 1946. godine ubijena. Evo, kako je moguće 1958. godine da se takva pjesma sklada, a sa ljudima koji su imali tu tešku ranu u svojemu životu. I neko mi je vrlo lijepo nedavno objasnio, najljepše pjesme nastaju u najtežim okolnostima života. Evo, hvala vam lijepo.
As my previous speakers, they explain everything, what happened till today, how I came to know to Mrs. Vandekar, and how we came to know, met a coffee and drink everything to what happened to his family. And this song, Tata Kupi Mi Auto, she was 9 years in the hand in Opatia festival, as explained that. We have a picture, but picture in my telephone. I don't know where I put my telephone. Telephone is very quiet now, I can't find it. Sorry for that. So, on the speaker now, the next our speaker is our Professor Ivan Andrianic. We will also speak now in this what happened with our society and with Indian. With the chairperson of Indology in Zagreb. So please come, because we had so many functions, we can go through with all this one here. So now we will go with the Indology and what they explain, who is the author of our book, 30 chapters, diplomatic relation between Croatia and India. As explained by Mr. Ruisa, the author was Mr. Ivan Andreyevich, initiative of Ambassador Rajkumar Shrivastava. It was same thing was happening at that time. There's no how can finance that society will do these things. Society did. I request to Mr. Misla Zajic went there to encourage to everybody, you just make your work, Croatia, as you are the professors and everything. The rest, society will do everything, leave on the society. The same thing happened. We were able to finance, of course, with the help of the Foreign Ministry, Ministry of Culture, Croatia, and Ministry of Education. This book was printed that way and finished in time. And it launched in the fellowship of faculty in Mineralogy, who did our Foreign Minister, Mr. Radman, Garlish Radman, very nicely way. Of course, presence of our Indian, our Excellency and other people there now. Now, Mr. Ivan Andreyevich will speak something about our society and his role in this one. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Shri Rajkumar Shrivastava, dear Joginder Ji, President of Croatian-Indian Society, dear friends, dear guests, thank you for inviting me. I have to say that I'm a kind of a newcomer into Croatian-Indian Society, so I can witness only last few years of the activities in the Croatian-Indian Society. However, these last 3 years I participated in these events. They were quite intense, I have to say. And I think we can thank all this intensivity in a way to Joginder Ji, who was very active in organizing all these events. We have this slideshow with literally hundreds of events. I saw the first version. The first version had some, I don't know, it was a slideshow with, I don't know, 300 pages, and it covered the period until 2021. So we have to reduce it, and now we reduce it to 190 around slides. So we will not be able to present them all, but we can just say in broad that almost every month or every few weeks there is some function, there is some lecture or something regarding India, and we had really lots of different programs here connected to relations, Croatian-Indian relations, but also some things which connect in a way, in broader or closer way, India or Croatia. I participated, for instance, in 3 of such very interesting events. For instance, in this Unity Day, where we spoke about integration of princely states in India, and this is a unity, a day of unity. So unity is something we need in our modern society. Unity is something very important, not only for, this is not only thing which is important for Indian past, for Indian history, but for our presence. It's very interesting. So I will connect this to one other thing. So I told you that we had three quite intense years, and one of the highlights of this last 3 years was the book 30 Chapters for 30 Years. So it all started with His Excellency Indian Ambassador, who came up with the idea to celebrate 30 years of Croatian-Indian diplomatic relation with 30 chapters of Croatian and Indian relations. So he came up with a plan, and this was a very nice and interesting plan. When we started to sort this out, we understood that we have much more than only 30 themes. So we have to integrate a lot of themes. But I think we managed to cover really a lot of fields, and we managed to cover all the historical relations of India and Croatia, which turned out to be very rich. And I would ask everybody to check out this book. But of course, there's a problem with that. And the problem with availability of the book can be maybe illustrated with a small anecdote. So we made this book. It started with the initiative of His Excellency, and of course, Croatian-Indian Society published the book with Joginderji as a representative of the publisher. But I visited India later. No, it was in March last year, and I saw Croatian ambassador Petar Ljubicic in New Delhi, and I presented him the book, and he went through the book, and he said, "This is such an interesting thing, so many things inside. This is a perfect gift for every diplomatic situation, for every diplomatic event, for our economic partners and everybody. We really need this book in our." In the embassy, and luckily, only next week, the big Croatian group from the Croatian Ministry of Science was visiting India. And he asked, "Can we distribute this book? Can we bring the book to India?" And I said, "No problem. I will ask the publisher. I will ask Joginderji to give." And I asked Ambassador Ljubicic, "How many items do you need? How many volumes do you need?" And he said, "I need 100." And I said, "No problem. I will bring you 100 because they have really rich relations there, the diplomatic business and everything." And it is very good for Indian people to see how many Croatians were interested in India, and how long India is present in the Croatian cultural and political and society. So I went to Zagreb and I said, "Joginderji, can you bring 100 books to the Ministry of External Affairs? They will send it to India." And Joginderji said, "Oh, the 7 are left. We have only 7 left." So it just, and I said, "Okay, you don't have 7, you'll have to have 6 because I didn't receive my book, so you have actually 6, only 6. So you can. This is just a small anecdote just to show you how interesting the book was. And I think in Croatian society there is a great interest in India, and we can see this in the events. Croatian-Indian Society is offering to Croatian public. And also we can see this from this history of Croatian-Indian relations. These are relations which are not only cultural, we expect usually culture, but these are also historical relations. We also saw there are political relations. We saw only last few years it came to light how important Gandhi was for instance, for Radić. And so also with the book 30 chapters for 30 years of diplomatic relation, many more themes came to light, which are very interesting, and some are, of course, related to people doing professional job to India, but still there would be some unexpected things. Ružica Čiča-Čank knows best for years how India was present in Tin Ujević, but it is not widely accepted, and it's not the widely known fact how India played important role in Tin Ujević, in the work of Tin Ujević. Also, there are other things. Many people don't know that the author of the Croatian national anthem, Antun Mihanović, wrote in 1828, I think it was, a very important treatise, scientific treatise about the relation of Slavic languages and Sanskrit. And it was 1828. It was very early job, very early paper. There was actually 2 papers in the time in early 19th century when the relation of Indo-European languages was not such a known and established fact as it is now. But in the beginning of the 19th century, it was really, really interesting and great intuition of this great intellectual, Antun Mihanović, to sense this and to prove this by linguistic evidence. It was beginning of 19th century. Croatians were already dealing with Sanskrit. Of course, later we have a study of Sanskrit studies, and later we have study of Indology, which is present even now in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Also, in the book, you can, regarding the unity, maybe I will finish with a small anecdote. There are some facts in the book which we learned about only through mouth-to-mouth transmissions. For instance, one interesting situation which is not so widely not well known is that our previously well-known documentarist Željko Malnar, he went in 1972, he went to India with the feature car. And it was a very interesting story. So we put this story also in the book. It's important. It's not widely known, but still, he went from Zagreb to New Delhi with the feature car. Just to tell you that I heard that until the Greek border, he changed all 4 tires, only to the Greek border. And regarding the unity, which we are speaking about, can you imagine now going to India by the car? Not with the feature car, with any car. So this unity is deeply, obviously disturbed in relation to 1970s. Malnar, with his then wife, Carmen Basic, managed to travel, of course, through Middle East, through Turkey, Middle East, then to Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. He traveled through whole Afghanistan. He made a rich photo documentation in Afghanistan. This documentation is now, this rich photo documentation was with late Professor Zdravka Matešić. She planned to publish it, but unfortunately she didn't manage. So this was at different times. Now the times are unfortunately different, and now this is impossible. Unfortunately, today that's an impossible task. But let's hope that this Unity Day will inspire us and bring something that one day we will also be able to drive, not maybe with a feature car, but with some other car that we could once drive to India again. So thank you very much.
Thanks to Professor Ivan Ambranic. Because actually what we have done ourselves from 94 till today, we cannot show you or explain you now these things. A lot of things happen. Even I said even last 5 years, we have about more than 45 events. Every event, there are our academic Mirko Orlic. Here is here, mathematics is here, our Mislav Jezic is here, national professors are here, Vedran Morna is here, Ruisa herself are here. Everybody and a lot of other professors, teachers could not come today. Who gave us the lecture. It means if we have done the 45 seminar events, we have more than 45 lecturers also. We get the invitation, but some that could not come or whatever happened to them, this one, but we are celebrating. We will see that now I will give a few minutes to our professor, academic Mislav Jezic. I think I maybe need a chair, sir, or because he has just some.
Your Excellency, dear Mr. President of the Society,
Yes.
Dear President of the Society Napredak, with which the Croatian-Indian Society has such a beautiful cooperation, dear ladies and gentlemen, it is a nice anniversary, 30 years of activity of Croatian-Indian Society. Normally, that society could be founded only after Croatia became an independent state under the name of Croatian-Indian Society. The links between Croatia and India are, as the book whom all my predecessors mentioned clearly shows, are much older, for many centuries. But the society was active in these last 30 years, and the first president of the society was a very prominent person in our scholarly and academic life, Zvonimir Šeparović, and in our politics, because he was Minister of Foreign Affairs, and during his mandate, Croatia became an independent state, and he was in his mandate when already 150 countries in the world acknowledged Croatia. So he entered history, the first president of this society. Dr. Ružica Čičak-Čan spoke about further events. She mentioned other presidents, and she spoke about many events from her personal experience in which she took an active part, and this personal testimony was very vivid, and I would say, especially for the first part, Dr. Ružica Čičak-Čan knows much more than I knew, and followed much closer what was happening. But of course, other members of our small, but I hope I can say very active group of Indologists not normally took part in the activities of the Croatian-Indian Society. But I will not speak very much about it, although the former president of the society, the Napredak Society, used to say, well, everything has been already said, but not everybody has spoken so far. But however, I would say it is in this case not quite true. So many other things could still be mentioned, said, and presented here, but there is no time to go into further details. I hope that from the presentations of Dr. Ružica Čičak-Čan, Professor Žubrinić, Professor Andrijanić, you already received a very good impression about these activities. I would like to stress that under the last and actual president of the Croatian-Indian Society, the activities became much more intense than in the previous period. And on the other hand, also, I would like to stress that His Excellency, the Ambassador Rajkumar Srivastav, was a great support to the society and to many things that developed between India and Croatia during his mandate, and that certainly all members of the society, and also on the other hand, all members of our small Indological community appreciated very much, and we would like to really say that we are very grateful for all your activities, support, initiatives. Among those initiatives, as was already mentioned, was also the idea to write this book about the links, and these are then, as Professor Andrijanić explained, links in many fields: politics, economy, culture, literature, art, of course, science, scholarship, including Indology, and travelers and missionaries, and so on. So quite, it's a very rich volume, and I can understand that our ambassador in India was interested and would be, every ambassador would be interested in having such a book to distribute. It would be very desirable to print much more copies of the book, if possible. There was a number of programs, the majority maybe in the premises of the Napredak Society, but also elsewhere, the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Faculty of Philosophy, and so on. And on the other hand, what remains as a permanent fruit of the activity are these books. They were all more or less mentioned. I can mention as one more example also a collection of poems of Dr. Dragos Tambuk, a fellow of our academy, who the society published first a selection of his poems in Croatian. But then again, I think it was another initiative of His Excellency, Rajkumar Sivasara, to translate these, a part of these poems in Hindi and to publish it in this edition, which was recently presented. On the whole, we are all very happy that these activities of the Indian Society and this excellent cooperation with the embassy were noticed, and that our president, Joginder Singh Nijjar, was awarded by a very prominent award for the Indians in diaspora, migrations, the award Pravasi Bharati Saman Award, with 27 prominent Indians in many countries in the world. And I think that these activities and publications of the Croatian-Indian Society were in this case, of course, our president, but also the society was in this sense awarded, and the fruits of the work of the society were rewarded by this beautiful award, which also, as such events do in India, attracts a lot of attention of Indian media. So thanks to the proposal by the embassy, we are very happy that in this, thanks to this award, not only Mr. Singh Nijjar, but also Croatia was mentioned many times in Indian media recently. My congratulations for the work of the Croatian-Indian Society. Thanks to the embassy, thanks to the society, Napredak Society, and to all who supported this work, and of course to all people to all lecturers who gave lectures and presentations in this, and we had beautiful presentations from the fields of mathematics, from other fields of sciences. Professor Orlic also gave a very nice lecture on Andrija Mohorovičić, and so on. So I hope that the society can be proud and anyway happy with all that was done in your period, And I'm very glad that we had this opportunity to celebrate it. Thank you.
My dear guests, thanks to our academic Mislav Jeric for a lovely speech at the end. This is the last speech. Explain whatever we did not mention earlier. This was the same. I will say what we did not speak earlier about our society. So he did it end now, because I can talk also on this one maybe more. I will take not 1 or 2, 3 hours, because I will tell you one thing. The first time at the 550th birthday of Guru Nanak, and first time Guru Granth Sahib, we call them, this is the holy book, Sveti Kniga, first time in Croatia, first time in Zagreb, first time in Yugoslavia, in the past history also, in Zagreb. And that book shows so much unity here. And when our Svechenik, they read that book, at the end the one page is come there, they said, what is happening today in this world, or here in Zagreb? They said, so much upset, so much colored today. It is not only the plain soft colors or dark colors. It was mix of all the colors today in this area. That last part was so good. It tell everything what was happening at that time, from last 10 years in Yugoslavia, in here, or in the world also. So, we pray to all of our 11th Guru is Guru Granth Sahib. This is the holy book. And I explained earlier anyway so many times the Guru Nanak's birthday when we celebrate that one. Who was Guru Nanak? Guru Nanak can read on the Googles always. His life. Who was he? What happened? I will just say one small thing, very similar to Guru Nanak and our Jesus. Very similar. Jesus was crossed at his age of 32, 33. And our Guru, Jesus did not have his family life. Guru Nanak, he was Nanak only before, Guru comes after. Yet he has become the Uskarsnyo after 32 or 33 years, when died our Jesus. And he said the same wording. At that time in India, there was 2 religions only in India, Hindu and Sikh. Hindu and Muslim, sorry. There was no Sikh at that time. Nobody knows who is a Sikh, what is Sikh at that time. When he came out after 3 days from that river, and Uskarsnyo, and then he said, first word was, well, I'm not Hindu, not Musliman. I'm the son of the God. Nothing else. So then he done his life. You can read everything on the Google. You have print Guru Nanak. So I will not take my time not to speak on that topic now. So we are not today. What happened in our society last 30 years? You must say more, that we have to do it more. Not only 45 seminars, try to select some more seminars, better ones, to how we can combine our 2 countries in all fields, in culture, in education, diversity, unity. Because India is the symbol of today in all these fields. But the Balkan is this one, this is not even today, even the world is not today, this thinking the same way. So there one thing is common in Croatia and in the India never try to get other territory surrounding countries. The same in Croatian history last, we can say, from 1,000 years. That's why they never try to take other territories. They want their own territory or own land, what they have here. So there is more similarity between Croatian, Croat, and the Indians. Thank you very much. Please take seated. Now the time comes, people's will be awarded in these 30 years of our society celebrating today. First I will call to Mr. Jain. Please come there. Professor Darko Juvranic, please come here. Yeah. And first we will call to the lady present to our dear ambassadors. So please come on the stage. Give this photo from, please come here. Please come here. This is our dear ambassador from the government. We have my friend of Naika Markovic. Naika Markovic from Luronic. She gave a gift to the dear ambassadors. We have all the paintings from Kashmir, and this is in the gallery in this our pavilion. Yeah. So she said that please hand over this to our dear ambassadors. Then from our society, Croatian-Indian Society, from all the members of the society, especially from the Ramna Teli or the management of the society, all the members, special on crystal vase. But I think we have to open it. It is written and graduated on this one, like this one. I have Ambassador allowed. I can open this one also to show how it looks very, very, very nice and perfect. Sir, can I open it? Who will help me to open this one then? You'll open it now.
To open?
Yes.
Okay, you hold it and
Please,
okay. by brute force. Okay.
You will show how we graded the total level logo on this one, written in Croatian and in
Very tightly fastened.
not supposed to be not
No.
This Christina, how we can open this one? Christina, how we can open this one? You pack it.
Škarice možemo. Okay, just finish.
Okay, finish now. One of our famous factory in Samobor, Crystal Samobor. No.
Samo ovo je dno tas.
We will open it very carefully now. So when we do this. My dear, so many efforts we pack it very difficultly, but I think we have to open it. Make sure it is not signed again. If you remain like this, I can start it again. Thank you. So I will work with I've been lucky them.
This is also.
And there's one more. It was special award. I put a couple here. In 1994. Then we started the country. First we looked, the paper is four language, Croatian, Laborisha, then 10 is English and English. This is a very historical thing.
that we are celebrating 30 years of Napredak Society. So this was done at the time of origin, very artistic work, symbolism from India, symbolism from Croatia. So when he showed it to me, I was really perplexed at how come this is not part of the book that we got. It should have been there. So maybe the next edition.
The next edition.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nobel academic Professor Ježić, please. Yes.
Ružica Čičakša.
Yes, you.
You have society more than anything. You are working in the world, you know, you something after that for 9 years. Many things compared to India.
Dr. Ružica Čičakša. Profesor Ivan Andrijanić. Profesor Vedra Morvan. Professor Nedeljko Perić is here. Professor Perić. Mrs. Kristina Stanković. The Professor Tomislav Šikić.
Tomislav Šikić, please. Our famous mathematics.
So I don't expect something nice like this. In this position, well.
In this position, but
So.
Professor Dražen Vikištović. Professor Vesna Županović.
President of our mathematics in Croatia.
Mr. Goran Štrbac, director of this Napredak branch.
Goran Štrbac, yeah.
Mr. Mario Milošević. Mr. Krishan Kumar.
Mr. Krishan Kumar.
I will read the names. I will read the names of others. Ljubomir Miščević is here. Zvonimir Šeparović. Mohan Čander. Zora Maštrović. Jadranka Fatov. Marijana Janić. Nedeljko Perić. Damir Krešić. And myself.
Last but not the least.
Professor Dr. Judranić.
Okay. Our kitchen is away from us.
Nisi dao slikati. Daj sliku.
Sprem.
A tu slika.
A u redu.
Ne treba slikati. Darko. Darko. This is the Professor Academic Mirko Orlić. I don't know where miss his file. Somewhere it is miss, but you will get also later. You are in the list of. I'm sorry. Please wait for some time. As some others also, somewhere it mix up now. I don't know. Mirko, he's the name on the list, everything, and other members also. But unfortunately, a lot of members did not come today. But Mirko Orlić, we can just show. No, not this number. Zatim slike, sve slike za slikom sad tu. Začu dati isto profesoru Orliću.
More than sure.
Our professor Mirko Orlić, not forgettable. He have gave us a very good lecture and very nice on this on ocean. Not only one time, he was a few times here, and his awarded is also here. As we photos, Professor Michev is also there. We will just make a photo now. So, but you will also get. Okay, please come here, Mr. Michev. Mnogo vratina.
Evo ga.
I think the last one who's present here now, they gave the award, same like the others, our academic and professors, for Ljubomir Miščević. So please.
Namaste. Namaste. mi si volimo da namazimo. Ja ću dosta glasno reći bez razglasa da prije svega za... Hoću. Samo sekundu. Ne moramo sa klapnama biti. Naški rečeno. Ukratko, hvala lijepo i akademicima, kolegama, poznanicima. Vrlo skromno je bilo spomenuto ime doktorice Zore Maštrović. Jako žao što nije s nama ovdje. Vjerujem da će se...
Bila je pozvana, pa već.
Da, to sigurno. Ja vjerujem da u ovom jesenjem nastavku kojeg tu šapćemo i planiramo, da će biti više prilika, možda kroz nekoliko dana i nastavaka, da se nastavimo družiti obilježavajući, ne čekajući sljedeći 30 godina, naravno. Toliko je divne građe, toliko je pojedinaca i nas ispred institucija i projekata da bi mogli doista pokušati u jesen nastaviti u istom napretku ovom nama dragom ključnom prostoru. Tako da ja zahvaljujem i u ime doktorice Zore Maštrović, jer definitivno mnogo toga ne bi bilo.
Bilo da nije bilo naša Zora nije bilo.
Da, tri prva desetljeća, samo toliko. Hvala svima.
To je istina našem profesoru Miševiću što je pričao. Daj malo tu. Neka čeka malo to. Mi smo to mi sada slavimo ovoga, slavit ćemo još jedan put u 9. mjesec. Mini konferencija napraviti opreme gdje će biti prisutni više ljudi koji bi tome se mnom razgovarali, koji je šta učinio, kako sam se učinio. Ja sam dosta sam govorio o tome sve stvarima. Sigurno nikad ne mogu govoriti sve. Kratko vremeno to sve stvari. Znači, to je taj razlika koja postoje sada tu. Mnogima smo zaboravili ovdje spomenuti ime koje smo osjetili da će biti, nek smo delili i nagrade taj, znači sve. Sad molimo svako malo idite na kuhinju, popite malo indijska hrana, malo tu i čaša vina, popite malo tu. Hladno vode, hladno vina i najbolje gemišt. Hvala lijepa još jednom svima.